Hey, what up, guys? I want to do a quick review for a movie I just checked out called Flowers in the Attic, put out in, I think 1980, yeah, 1988. And my buddy BDG Reviews actually got this for me over in England or whatever. He got some movies, asked me if I wanted something, and I knew this was only available in the UK, so I was like, yeah, pick this up for me because I was really interested to check it out again. It had been years and years since I seen this, and I really didn't remember anything about it except the grandmother's performance. And Yeah, so I was pretty stoked to check it out. And essentially, like the general plot of this is that there's this family, and the father of this family ends up dying, so the mother has to go kind of make up to the grandmother and grandfather, and kind of earn the grandfather's love back, as she puts it, because her family was written out of the will for what you find out later, or it's pretty early on, so it's not a spoiler, that the father of this family was like the uncle, and all these kids are like little incest babies and stuff, and this family is super religious, so like the grandparents are really religious, so they just wrote him out of the will because it was unholy, and there's a lot more wrong with it other than unholy, but yeah, so it's one of those things where you do feel bad for the kids in this, but then again, you're like, the mother in this, like, there's some twists later on that kind of, they're twists definitely, like, I didn't see it coming, but at first you're just like, you're wondering, like, how the hell could you root for this mother, because what she's saying and doing just makes no sense. Um, but essentially, they got to, like she has to earn the love back of the grandparents so they can have all the money in the world. But the grandmother insists that these kids can't be seen, so they got to stay in the attic. And the mom says, "Oh, you got to help me win the trust back. Just be good, stay out of sight, stay in the attic." And it's like months and months and months go by, and these kids are slowly deteriorating. And you find out these twists with the mother and all that. And it was an intense watch. Like, I didn't expect it to be as disturbing as it was, being from 1988, based on like a best-selling book. But yeah, it was pretty intense. I definitely recommend it if you're into that kind of stuff. I will say it has like a made-for-TV vibe to it. So if you can get past kind of like that, like I don't know how to describe it, like color, like just the way it's filmed. And that's one setting, this big house, pretty much. But I think that's what makes it feel made for TV, like, is just the one house setting. But this was a theatrical movie, and I guess it bombed originally theatrically, so they halted production on all sequels and stuff. But yeah, the picture quality on this looked really good. It was not the best looking Arrow release I've seen, but it's definitely pretty clean looking. I mean, there's some grain throughout, and there's some scenes that look worse or more blown out than others, but overall the picture looked pretty good. Um, this thing's loaded with special features too. You get a brand new audio commentary with the author and editor chief of Diabolique magazine. I've never read it, but I've heard of it. And there's a brand new interview with cinematographer, a brand new interview with the production designer, a brand new interview with the main actor, like the oldest kid. It was cool seeing him, hearing what he had to say about it. He basically expected this movie to catapult him into bigger and better things, and unfortunately it didn't happen because he was actually a good actor, and he kind of gives you, or says something that was kind of interesting, that he plays a 16-year-old in this, but he was 24. And I want to say Christy Swanson, this was one of her first roles, if not her first role. So it was cool seeing her in that. Yeah, and then interview with the composer, and the score of this is really memorable, like a really kind of creepy score to it. You get behind the scene images, illustrations, storyboards. You get the original studio vetoed ending. Um, so it's cool. This ending was a lot better. It's a shame they didn't use this in the theatrical version. And then you have the revised ending with the commentary by the director of the revised ending, because they had to bring in a new director for the new ending, and the new ending is just kind of hokey. Like, I don't know, it wraps everything up in just a really rush, just kind of cheesy way. Um, and then this is also one of the cool special features. You get two versions of the script, and one of them is an unproduced Wes Craven script because he was going to direct this at first, but he kind of wanted to add more of the sexual tones of the book, and because the book, like I said, they're all incest babies and stuff, and You know, when you're locked in an attic for a year, 2 years at a time, and you're kind of going through adulthood or whatever, you know where that goes. So Wes Craven wanted to lean more into that, and it probably would have made this an even more disturbing, eerie movie. But I guess V.C. Andrews, the author of the book, didn't like the script for some reason. Um, and you get a reversible sleeve. This is the original art right there, which I like a lot better. I'm not a big fan of the reverse art they got. It's just a little too generic for me, but that's the reverse. But yeah, if you have a region free player, I definitely recommend going to arrow.com or Diabolic has this too. Unfortunately, I don't like. I think you have to go to Amazon UK to get it, unless you can settle for like a cheap DVD copy. But really, this transfer is awesome, and all these features really make this release worth it. I definitely recommend it. It's not like hardcore horror. It's more like a drama with just really disturbing elements to it. So, and it really does feel 80s. So keep that in mind too. But I'm definitely glad to add that to the Arrow collection. Anyways, guys, peace.